Hey all, welcome back to the channel. It's another beautiful day here in Washington State. Hope you guys are well. It is a blustery day out there. Blowing wind, rain, the whole 9 yards. So I am not out on the water. I wanted to talk about some knife care and maintenance products, I guess. Yeah, I was just kind of digging through all my stuff last night and sort of had a brainwave. I should do a little video about this. So here I sit. Yeah, I wanted to feature some of the products that I use personally for knife care and maintenance. So let's start digging right into that. Knife care and maintenance is huge. Growing up, I was really into the shooting sports, target shooting, stuff like that, and that sort of followed me into my adult life. I don't do it as much these days, but I definitely used to do it quite often. A couple times a week I'd go out target shooting, and I think I got pretty decent at it. But that taught me proper care and maintenance, especially maintenance. Proper maintenance of a firearm is huge, and any fine tool with fine tolerances, let's put it that way. Be it a knife, be it a gun, be it a piece of machinery. I think that that can make or break whether a product works for you or not in the long term. So, knife maintenance, really important, especially if you're going to spend the kind of money that we tend to spend on knives. When it comes down to it, it's a tool, it's a precise tool, a precisely made tool, should I say. Yeah, I mean, like your Spyderco's. This is my little Para 3. I love this knife. This is what I've been carrying for a long time now. And I spent $150 on this knife. I'm going to take care of it because I want to protect my investment, Okay, so I think the best way to go about this in my head is let's start out from when you buy a knife. What do you want to do to it? What do you usually need to do to a knife when you first buy it? Hopefully nothing, but more often than not, you want to adjust the pivot to match your preference and action and stuff like that. You might flip the pocket clip around because you're left-handed, or you want it tip up or tip down. Whatever it may be, you're going to need a tool or tools in this case. In most cases, you're going to need tools to break a knife down. Change a pocket clip, flip a pocket clip around. Like I said, you're going to need tools. Now, there are quite a few different tools out on the market right now by a lot of the big name companies. I have had a couple of them, and this is probably the best one I've found yet. This is from Benchmade. Actually, it's their Blue Box tool. Now, what I like about this is they give you 2 T6, 2 T10, and a T8. So everything you need, nothing you don't, and they give you the extra bits for something that you're more likely to use more often. So like T6, I find myself using T6 all the time, and a lot of the pivots that my knives have are T10s. So yeah, this is really cool. You just open this up, you've got your bits in your driver, pull your driver out, and you're all set. You got your tool to work on your knives. So, really good. I haven't had any of the bits round out on me yet, which is good. They're still in good shape. And this seems to be a well-made tool, or set of tools. So, magnets are really strong. Yeah. So, the Benchmade Blue Box comes in at like $26, I think. You can find it at your local sporting goods store, usually, up by the knife counter. So, yeah, that's what I got for tools. The second thing you might want to do when you get a knife, which is oil. You might want to add a little bit of oil in the pivot. You might. You never know. it might come a little bit dry. So the oil that I just happen to have sitting in front of me is hops number 9. This is it's gun oil. It's a pretty thick viscosity. Honestly, I want to get my hands on something a little bit different. There's something out there called nano oil, I think, and I've heard really good things about that. So trying to hunt some down on the internet, and I'll find some of that and order some of that and have some dedicated knife lubricant. So now the third thing you may need to do to a knife, God forbid this happens, but you may need to sharpen the damn thing. I've had that happen recently where I got a knife and it was absolutely dull. I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but let's just say I'm not going to buy a knife from them probably ever again until they step their game up with steel and everything. But anyways, that's another video all into itself. Sharpening. I started out on a Smith's whetstone. Oh, pardon me. Alright, so sharpening. I started out on a Smith's whetstone, and I learned a lot doing that, using stones. And you learn a lot about how to hold an edge to an angle. One thing I suggest doing and having in your knife care and maintenance kit is a Sharpie. This helps identifying where you're taking material off on a knife's edge, especially if you're using a stone, something that's unguided. It helps. It's a nice visual marker. You throw some Sharpie on the edge, or the portion of the edge that you want to sharpen, and start taking material off, and it'll take the Sharpie off with it. So yeah. Alright, as far as actual sharpeners, sharpening systems, the first one I got was the original Work Sharp. This guy right here. I've never done a dedicated video on this one, but it's been great. It is really good for bringing knives back to life. It's really good at that. The only limiting factor is the guides. That's what limits this one. I know they make the Canon Professional Edition that has the adjustable head on it, between 15 and 30 degrees, I think. And yeah, something I've thought about doing, but to be honest, I have found that I like this next sharpening system a lot better, and I'm not scared to put my expensive knives in this other sharpening system, because when it comes down to it, something that's powered like this, it has a fixed speed. You know, you're dealing with abrasive belts. You can just take off a lot of material really quickly on accident, especially if you don't know what you're doing. You can round the tips off knives, and yeah, I thought this was like a beginner sharpening system, but it is in a way. It just pays to have some experience with something else unpowered before this, I think. Alright. Now that little diatribe's done, let's talk about the newest, most recent sharpening system that I have. I picked this up probably about 6 months ago now. No? Yeah, no. Probably about 4 months ago. And I put a lot of knives through it and probably got some of the better edges I've ever got on knives out of this sharpening system. And that is the Work Sharp Precision Adjust Sharpener. It's a rod and clamp style sharpener. It's adjustable between 15 and 30 degrees. You just pop the knife right in the clamp and start working on it. This thing has 3 stones on it. It's got a fine ceramic 600 and a 300. I've used it to reprofile a couple knives successfully. I've reprofiled a couple of my old fillet knives to 15 degrees, and they're just, man, they're sharp. So I was pretty stoked on that. I think it comes in at like 55, 60 bucks too, so it's not a bad price range for that style of sharpening system. And you know, you get the Work Sharp name and warranty and all that. So, alright, last thing I'm going to touch on is a strop. I did not know how important a strop was until I got one. And this isn't even a proper full-on strop. This is like from Work Sharp. And it's just a little sharpener you can throw in your bag. Yeah, throw it in your backpack or just keep it in your knife care kit like I do. And it's got a strop on one side, a guided strop. You can see you lay the knife on there, pull it across. It actually works exceptionally well. So you got a strop on one side and a ceramic rod on the other. Again, that's guided for 20 degrees, which is what a couple of my favorite knives are at. They're at 20 degrees. So, yeah. This thing is like 22, 23 bucks. I found it in my local sporting goods store. You can find them all over the place, I think. But yeah, this is a strop takes that edge from good to great, in my opinion. You know, you hone it with the ceramic, and then you work up to the strop and just strop the piss out of it until it looks like this, and you get that mirror edge. I'm really stoked on the Spyderco right now because of the edge I've got on it. It just sails through anything. But yeah, I think that does it. I'm looking around. I don't see anything I didn't talk about. Knife care and maintenance. We covered tools, we covered sharpening systems, we covered lubricants a little bit. Again, nano oil is what I believe the name of that stuff is. If I can find it, I'll put a link to it in the description below. If you guys have heard of Metal Complex, he's got a pretty popular YouTube channel. He does great content, like everyday, daily content. It's nuts how much content that dude puts out, but he suggested nano oil, so I'm going to look that stuff up when I get done doing this. Alright, I think that's going to do it for this video. Felt good. I think we stayed on topic for the most part. Thanks for the continued support on the channel. It means the world. We're doing alright. Yeah, we're doing alright. Alright guys, see you on the next one.